What is up, y'all? It is let me turn my stuff down. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shay. Oh, camera fell. This is or this will be my first video of 2019. And this video is basically just gonna be about a journey of self-love and loving yourself, and trying to be trying to be just independent in the midst of all this, like trying to still function with depression and shit like that. Okay. And at the same time, I'm going to touch on living by yourself versus living with a parent or somebody or friend, family member, whatever. So let me just jump into the video. So first, I want to just say happy 2019 for those of us that made it. I know last year was a struggle. We was all walking into 2018 feeling like, hey, this gonna be our year, and a lot of us was like, ooh, this is not gonna be my fucking year. And the bad part about that, a lot of us realized last year that 2018 was not gonna be our year in fucking February. Like February hit and it was like, this may not be my motherfucking year. But anyway, let me give y'all a recap of my 2018 really quick. So it took me a minute to get this video even started because I have been in the house for almost a week now, like stuck. Depression is a bitch. Trust me, it hits you in the worst ways at the worst times. You never know. So real quickly, I started 2018, still working the job that I had been working at. I was happy about it. I felt like I can get stable and get my house together. Even though when I initially moved into my apartment, I had to set in my mind. I was working security, and I had to set in my mind that I'm gonna be out here in a year. Shit didn't go that way. So yeah. So I found myself still in my apartment, but like around March, April, I just tried to be more optimistic about it. Like, stop looking at it like, you don't like your apartment. Like, be thankful that you have an apartment because some people didn't have an apartment. So I spent most of my 2018 trying to really appreciate my apartment because 2017 I really didn't appreciate it. And just trying to get things together in my house, and with my job, just trying to find my place in my job or whatever case may be. But I did go on my first family trip, which was beautiful, because I know a lot of people in their families, they don't do a lot of stuff, and then I know there are people that got big families that be doing stuff all the damn time. So for me and my family last year, taking our first family trip was like something big. So we did check that off of our list. Hopefully we can do that this year, even though things will be totally different. And I'll get into that in just a second. But yeah, after the summer was over, I came back thinking family trip was done, everything's good. My daughter's birthday was in July, and literally the day of her birthday, my car broke down. And then that Friday, I got hurt at work. Um, so I spent from July to probably December dealing with being injured. And for those of you that have never been injured at work, it's a fucking process. Like when you've really been hurt and it's really something wrong with you, it's a process trying to work and deal with that, and all the paperwork and shit like that. Like that shit is stressful. So I spent the last couple of months of the year just being stressed out about the situation and trying to just hold it together. I stayed pretty positive, pretty optimistic, that my arm would get better, but in the end it just I ended up making it worse. Like, because as a black woman, sometimes we feel like I'm a superwoman and I can do this and I can do that and don't nothing hurt us. So like I always had that mentality. Like as a kid, it was always I'm young and I don't get back pains and aches and all that shit like that. Like I was good. I'll go to the doctor, perfectly healthy, nothing's wrong with you. So like I was just always feeling like it could never happen to me. So when I got hurt, I just felt like, girl, you're gonna bounce back. Like you hurt yourself all the fucking time. But it just didn't happen like that. And my trainer or my therapist, he kept saying to me like, you can't exert yourself. Like, this is not, you're not in a gym. This is not one of those injuries where you hurt yourself at the gym or something like that. Like, you can't go in the gym and try to push, 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 push. Like, you have to understand your body reacts differently. And at first, I was just like, you don't even know my body. Like, fuck you talking about? Like, you be like, whatever, but like, I got this. I'm good. Like, I know my body, and I'm gonna bounce back, and I'm gonna be good. And then, like, I tried to go back to work before the holidays, and it was like, okay, I got it. And then for me in my head, like, it started to click, like, like, no, you don't got it. Like, no, like, it's hurting more and more and more. And like, you're faking it. You're trying to be okay because people expect for you to be okay. But it's like, bro, you really hurt. Like, cut that shit out. So around Thanksgiving, I don't know. Like, I got this weird vibe, like, the week before Thanksgiving, because my arm was hurting or whatever, so they sent me home, and I was just like, something ain't right. So I honestly felt like my sister was sick and that I was going to lose her. That next Friday, my brother got shot, and he died. And like I said, I felt something was wrong. Like, don't get me wrong, I knew my arm was hurt, but besides my arm being hurt, like, that whole day I felt like real eerie. So to go home, like, honestly, I went and got my kids, and I came home and I was like really sad. Like, damn, I hope my sister get better, and I hope she just feel better. No, didn't even really think about it. Then, the next week went by, came, and Thanksgiving was there, and I was telling her, like, dog, like, I'm happy you better, because my nigga, I love you. And the next day, I just remember I had a headache. I had a bad headache. I just kept saying, what's going on? What's wrong? Because I don't get them kind of headaches. Like I said, I'm normally pretty healthy. So when I get these feelings and these vibes, it's normally a death. And in my history, for me personally, I've always, like, known something like that. So I just kept saying, like, why is my head hurting? So I took a nap, woke up, my nephew called. I ignored the phone call. So I was like, my head hurt. I don't want to talk right now, baby. My mama called. Okay. What's up, mama? Because I know something is wrong now. Your brother dead. I went into a whole spiral. Like, a whole spiral. In the days following his funeral, like, shit just didn't get no better, no easier. So now to rewind, I'm 26. I'll be 27 next month. I have 2 kids, 5 and 4. I am married legally, but I have been separated from my husband since my son was 3 or 4 months. He took my child for a week and kept him hostage from me and my family without my consent. We were fighting and arguing about that. My hair fell out. I lost 30 or so pounds in a 3-month span. For those of you wondering that don't know, yeah, he did cheat. So I was stressed out, to be left with, at that time, not even a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. It was kind of like, it was a lot. And I had just lost my job too, so it was like a lot. So yeah, I have history of postpartum depression and depression and stuff like that. I'm on antidepressants. I actually started antidepressants when I started working because the job was so stressful. And the shit, it was like, So, okay. Fast forward to now. My brother's dead rewind. From the moment of me and my husband breaking up, it was bullshit. But as a black woman, I had to pull it together. I had to get it together. I had to still find another job, take care of my kids, provide. I was living with my sister at the time. So, it's all of that. It's the embarrassment of that. It's having to go to work and struggle through that when you want to cry and break down. Having the feeling of, I know you ain't shit, but I want my family because I got kids, and it's like I don't want to break up my family, for bullshit. I honestly, I would have probably faked it for another 2 or 3 years if it was fakeable, but at that point it wasn't fakeable. Just for the fact that I know how easy life is when you got a 2-person household. as far as like finding a babysitter and bills, shit like that. And then two, my kids at that time, they needed two parents in their life. They just did. Honestly, all kids need two parents in their life, but at that time, we had already been fighting bullshit like that and going through, being homeless, shit like that. So it was like my kids needed two people to be in their life, because I would have my days where it would be like I'm so stressed out and zoned out. I couldn't be the best mother that I wanted to be for them. So they needed somebody to be there for them that was present, like mentally too. So then after that, lost some jobs, found some jobs, got an apartment on my own, gratefully and thankfully. I got an apartment on my own after we had separated. But I was trying to divorce him and he ran and all that shit. And then, he had a drug problem. So it was the back and forth with him. And it was like I was in a place of I had forgave, I had let go, I was moving on, I had a new place, I had a new job. I wanted to be a better person. He wasn't on the same page. So the stress of having to still deal with that mentally, that was a lot too. Because as we weren't arguing on social media, it was like, bruh, like you don't even know where I stay and you can still call my phone and it's like I'm telling you the kids aren't with me and you still want to pick a fight. Like shit like that. It would just get to me. So mentally, I had a lot. And then, being in my own apartment and really not knowing how to be an adult at the same time, because I kind of grew up in that relationship as well as grew up while my kids were growing up, or growing up with my kids rather. So it was a lot, having to deal with your baby daddy being stupid, having to deal with living in one place, your kids going to daycare in another place, and you having to travel an hour, 2 hours, an opposite direction, go to work. It was a lot, and I didn't have a car at that time, so it was a lot on me, like for real. And then losing a job, and being scared about my rent and shit like that. So it was a lot. So I've dealt with all of that before my brother passed. So when the moment of him passing, it was like, dog, like I have barely dealt with my divorce shit. Like that's not even settled. I'm still dealing with job shit. Like I've been dealing with job shit since I got into my apartment, and I'm still dealing with job shit. My arm is fucking hurt, and that's a reason why I'm dealing with job shit. So it's like my bills is like, it was a lot. And to have your brother die, and this is not like a brother from the hood, which I'm not saying that ain't no different, but like this is my blood brother, my mama and my daddy's son. Same mama, same daddy. This is my brother that I remember. I got this black line under my eye because he was pulling a pizza out of the oven and I was standing too close and it hit me in the face. Like the brother that I would run to, cry to. So it was a lot. It was a lot. And having to deal with family bullshit up until the funeral, that was a lot. And me just trying to be strong for my nieces and nephews, because even though my parents were on drugs, I've never like lost a parent. My mama, she wasn't really that present. So yeah, I did as a kid. I said a lot. My mom and daddy were dead, because it was like, I can't tell y'all where she at. I can't tell y'all, what she doing. But it was like I had to sacrifice my feelings and my emotions for my nieces and nephews, because I needed to be strong for them at that moment. I just needed them to get and understand he loves all y'all. He loves all y'all. He did not leave y'all. Somebody took him from us. So we have to be strong and just understand we got to lean on each other. Like that was my thing. And then, with having to deal with sisters and brothers arguing and shit like that, it was like I can't focus on the right emotions right now because it's a lot of shit going on. So, in all of that, I just remember once again I went back to not eating, because that's what I do when I'm depressed. I don't eat, and my body just started to get like weak. I just really weak. Like I just felt everything go weak, and it was like all the pain in my arm that I had been feeling before. It's like now this shit, I can't stop feeling it. Like now it hurts even more. And I'm like, okay, is this in my mind? Am I making these feelings up? I'm like, so no, let me go to work and let me still see if I can work. And if I can still work, I'm making it up in my mind. If I can't get through work without feeling these pains, okay, we got to get something done because this shit is serious. So that was pretty much how I spent the end of my year. It was like I was stressed out, worried. As you can see, like I'm still, don't get me wrong, sometimes I do use my arm because sometimes the pain will stop and I'll be like, okay, this is the moment for you to try to use it and try to see if you can, stop the pain. But it's like I'll use it and then it's like, no, let it rest. Leave it the fuck alone. So dealing with all of that at the end of the year, I found myself coming into 2019 basically depressed. Like I have been in my house now since Tuesday. I have not left my house. And I know some of y'all probably like, bitch, you need to get a life. Like, what are you doing? I cannot, and I feel bad because it makes me a bad parent keeping me and my kids shut up in the house like this. But it's like with everything going on and me not working and having to deal with all this shit and like still having to do house duties and still having to pay bills and still having to make sure that they good. It's like it's a lot for me, for one person. And I just found myself when I came in our house, it was like everything just hit me like a ton of fucking bricks. And it was like, Shay, just get it together. Just get it together. Just grab the camera, do your videos, and that's your goal for 2019. You said that was your goal. So starting it was just like every time I picked up the phone to do a video or something, I could not find myself to do it. I could not find the right words. I couldn't. And I don't know. I don't know. Today I just woke up and I was just like, you know what? We gotta just put all that shit aside. I'm like, because, you know, your fears and your securities, whatever you facing, somebody out there got them same fears and them same motherfucking insecurities. Be that voice. Like, and I get it. There are a lot of people out there that want to be that voice that are helping. I get it, but it's a reason why certain people will say, "Hey, I'm waiting for them videos. Hey, I'm waiting to repost that shit. Hey, I'm waiting to hear from you." Like, it's a reason why some people come to me for advice, and I had to take that and just think about it. Like, if you want that to be what you do for 2019, if you want to turn that into a business for 2019, then your best bet, Shay, is to get your depressed ass up and just do it. So like I really just woke up today and I was just like, all that shit that we was dealing with in 2018, we gotta just leave it there. Leave it there, because dealing with depression, we can, and not even just 2018. Like I'm still in with depression. I'm still dealing with shit from 2017, 16, 15, 14, 13. God damn it, like 12. And it's like I know a lot of people that be like, that's hella dumb. That's hella stupid. It don't make no sense. Get over it. It's too early to be talking about that type of shit. How you feeling? Like, if you don't understand it, just say you don't understand it. But don't ridicule it. Don't point at it. Don't talk about it, because there are a lot of people that are dealing with depression, and you just looking at it like, oh, that motherfucker just hella getting high, or that motherfucker just hella closed off, or Brody didn't change. No, some people are dealing with depression. They just dealing with it differently. Like some people are like me. They get shut off. They shut off from the world because they can't get it together. Some people, they indulge in weed and alcohol, and they're always turned up. And it's like a lot of us, we don't ever stop and think like, okay, what's wrong with homie? Like, that's not like him to be like that though. We just be like, I don't know, they in a mode. They having a moment. Like, nah, depression comes in many different shapes, sizes, and forms. And a lot of us don't realize you have it. A lot of us don't realize we have it until a death, until somebody dies. And like recently, a lot of people have died around folks that I know are like really close to them. Like people have been losing their brothers, their mothers, cousins, best friends, all type of shit. So it's like A lot of us, we try to make it and deal with it and function, and then out of nowhere we just don't get it. We just don't understand why one little thing set us off, and it's like you dealing with something bigger than yourself and you just don't notice it, you just don't understand it, so like that's why I wanted to make this my first video 2019, just to be here, just to say, like, when you're dealing with depression, don't give into it. Like, go through what you go through, and whatever you do, however you gotta get through it. But talk to people, talk to somebody, even if you gotta talk to yourself. I know it gets lonely. You have your ups and downs, especially when you're going through ups and downs. Like, a lot of people, they be up. I got money, I'm doing good and all that shit. And it's like something come and they be down. It's like, fuck. And they can't get back up. And that being down shit, it keeps them down, like, emotionally too. So don't always don't always just think and assume that because somebody took a L that they just being a punk or they a pussy. Or no, you don't know how many L's they took. Like, I was telling my niece the other day, I'm like, as a kid, sometimes y'all don't get that when we say something, we mean what we say. So if I say clean your room, clean your room. I'm like, so if your mama is saying clean your room, just do it. I'm like, but at the same time, as a person, I'm like, I get that we all go through different things and that sometimes we're not aware of what somebody's going through. I'm like, so I might not think it as your auntie, but a text message that you're sending right now may be very important, because that may be a friendship or relationship that you're emotionally or mentally involved in. And sometimes the anxiety of having to send that text or waiting for that text, sometimes it gets the best of you. So sometimes we have to remember, like, stop telling somebody like that phone call not important. You don't know how important my phone call is. You don't know who I'm talking to. I could be venting. I don't give a fuck if I'm calling my nigga 15,000 times, bitch. You don't know. I could be stressed out, anxiety up the motherfucking roof hole, want to jump out the window and shoot him and me, bitch. You don't fucking know. Like, a lot of people, they lose their fucking job and they be down. A lot of people don't know what to do without money. I for damn sure one of them bitches. I hate being broke. I don't like it. This shit it hurt. Having to count my pennies and that shit hurt. So when your homie is down and he ain't got no money and he out here acting funny or weird or something like that, stop calling that nigga a funny acting nigga, some shit like that. Just understand, money change people. And it ain't always having money changes people. Not having money can change the motherfucker too. Especially when you go from being independent to having to be codependent. That shit can change you in the worst ways. Like, a lot of motherfuckers just don't want to ask for fucking help. So having to ask for help, and sometimes that's not even with losing a job. That could be losing a hustle or just hurting yourself or being down and having to need somebody. Sometimes that shit is an ego buster. And you may think like, bitch, you're being a punk or you're doing hella shit or you over exaggerating. Don't tell me that. You don't know my life. You probably think you know, but you ain't been here for every moment. Everybody don't tell you everything. Everybody don't say everything. I'm not going to tell you why this one text message hurt my feelings that fucking much. You can't even tell me that. A lot of people don't know people struggle. A lot of people don't understand. Some people been broke before with their mama and their daddy, so that shit hurt. A lot of people, they got daddy issues. They got mama issues. So it's like they don't understand how to love and how to have friendships and relationships. So it's like sometimes they get anxiety waiting to hear from people or waiting to talk to people, because it's like, I don't know how to, function right in a relationship or a friendship. My mama and daddy didn't teach me that. They probably didn't know that. So it's like depression, and I'm just talking about financially right now and relationship wise, just because that's what a lot of us go through. We go through being in relationships and that shit changing the motherfucker and you not knowing why. And it's like, cause you going through like a little mini depression, right? Like, even if, like, a lot of females, they go from being real sweet and nice to just being hella extra bitchy. And you like, why you like that? That nigga made you like that. It's not even that nigga. It's everything that I went through and had to deal with in that situation. I may have had prior issues with that or prior situations where I dealt with that as a child or something like that you don't know about. And now as an adult, I don't realize that, that shit triggers something in me. And at this point, that little sweet girl. It's like you sitting here walking around like a fucking sour apple. What?
Can you take a bath?
In a little bit. I'm busy.
Can I sing?
No. That's another reason why it's hard for me to make fucking videos. And I'm gonna switch gears real quick. Uh, being a fucking parent. They didn't tell you this shit when you out here popping your pussy, being wild and just throwing that thing. That it come with a baby, and when the babies get here, they never leave you alone. They irritate. They just say you can't give it back, bitch. Okay, but you didn't say that I can't give it back. It's never gonna leave me alone. It's gonna be like all up in my face all the fucking time. Like y'all way in the living room. How could y'all hear booed up? And it's. I bet y'all can't even hear booed up. That nigga come here talking about something. Can we sing this? No, no. Like no. I love my kids. I really do, but they stress me out. And being a single parent is it be a lot of stressful moments, and you never know. This fucking camera. I have to actually invest in a camera. That was something else that I was pretty pissed off about. Because I got hurt and I was not able to get all the stuff that I wanted to get. So yeah, I spent a lot of money for my brother's funeral in unnecessary places. So yeah, I was kind of upset. Yeah. But it is what it is. It come with being an auntie. But I know this lighting is really ugly because it's getting dark outside, and I just don't feel like looking over to my light switch. But bear with me, please, y'all. I do a little filter to kind of lighten it up a little bit. But yeah, so something else. Single parents, being a single mother and having to deal with this depression and shit like that. Or just like finding self-love. Because a lot of women, when we're dealing with depression, we don't love ourselves. Like when a lot of people, I know my sister for a fact, she was like, when I was pregnant, I was not in a cute, primpy kind of spirit, because it was me. I had baby daddy drama, like from jump. So I know a lot of women, when y'all with y'all baby daddies, y'all be together or whatever, like y'all be happy or whatever the case may be. But a lot of bitches, they go through depression from jump. So we stop loving ourselves from jump, and it be hard to like bounce back after that sometimes or whatever. Like you just be trying to figure out like, okay, so the nigga I was with not with me no more. I got this baby now. I'm fat. Yeah, fuck life. Like, fuck being, like, fuck this shit. Like, bitch, you be hella irritated. Your body change and hella shit like that. And then what be killing me be, y'all niggas be asking for these babies. And then you mad with my body change? You wanted this. I thought you knew what this shit came with. I thought you did all your research. I thought that you had made sure that whatever was going to happen, you was ready for it. Don't leave now. Like that shit be pissing me off. It honestly just kills me, because it be like that shit, especially for those girls that have been in a broken family already. Like if you already come from just, your mama, your grandmama, and your aunties and your uncles, or just your mama, because you may not have no aunties or uncles. It's a lot to get in a relationship and think you have a family and then find out it's broken. Like that's a lot. That is a letdown in itself, especially when you're telling me that before the baby even get here. It's like, damn, you really didn't even, I hate this side. It's like you didn't even really give us a chance, my nigga, or at least we feel that way. So we kind of feel ugly on the inside, and that shit, in this world, the way this world is set up, a lot of women didn't always just come out and say that. Like, okay, after my pregnancy, I felt ugly. That's why I did this, or I dressed this way, or I act this way, and I took it out on these people. And it's like, it's okay. It's okay. I don't know. You probably like, bitch, that don't even make sense. No, no, cause think about it. A ugly bitch is always fucking mad. A pretty bitch always fucking happy. Like the fuck? Like I'm hella mad, nigga. The fuck you mean? So like single mothers is I really feel for single mothers. I don't say nothing about, and I mean single mothers, not single women that's co-parenting. No, I mean like single mothers that don't get no help from the baby daddy. Like I really just it's somebody. It's somebody. It you got to think about it differently because dating has changed over the years because of social media and reality TV shows and just the way it used to be. Like I remember being a kid and I wanted to be a teacher, and that was what I wanted to be. And I knew the guys around me they wanted to be like police officers. Some of them wanted to be like basketball players. Some of them wanted to be like teachers too, though. But like everybody didn't want to be a rapper or a reality TV show star. Like they had some kind of dream that had to do with school or whatever like that. And it was like when reality TV came out, Flavor of Love and shit like that, and Real Housewives and all that shit, it was kind of like you opened the door to being sneaky and to being conniving in relationships to get niggas, fighting with females to get niggas. And a lot of that shit is depressing. And that shit ties into like why a lot of us end up being single mothers because we sitting up pregnant arguing with another bitch about our nigga because we sit here and watch these TV shows where they doing it. And don't get me wrong, I don't have a lot of drama in my life. Like I honestly don't. So when I watch them, I'm watching them because it's the fucking drama. Like that's it. If ain't nothing going on, okay. What about y'all day? Like I really don't watch TV as is. I don't know why I got the shit. But like that shit changed the course of how people look at relationships. So motherfuckers don't look at dating the way they used to. Like the way I personally look at dating, if we talking shit, if we talking, we not dating. That don't even mean you got my shit. I really don't even know how to describe talking because if we talking, that could just mean you said hi to me. Like we talk, he said hi, I said bye. Like, you feel me? But because I don't do that shit. Like for me, we either dating or we not. And if we not dating, we're just friends, and that's just what the fuck it is. But like dating, I don't think that you can. I think the way it used to be, I think you could date more than one people. So that's really just how I look at dating. I look at dating like, yeah, if